Wing Chun. I would like to know your opinion about this style and everything around it.
Okay. Well, uh, like I told you amongst ourselves, I'm not such a big fan of Chinese styles. I like Japanese styles and some Korean styles. They're more harder styles, more practical, in my point of view. I think a lot of Chinese styles nowadays, they're not very practical or have a lot of like these esoteric movements like whoa like this,
Yes.
which are a little bit weird, and I don't know, it's not for me. I like to more direct system like karate or taekwondo, that kind of stuff. I don't like the very esoteric or like mystical kind of thing. I do like, for example, for health,
Yes.
a lot of Chinese styles have a lot of like breathing work and that stuff, which actually has a strong effect in your health, and I like that. But specifically for combat, I prefer Japanese styles. And Wing Chun, the first time I saw it, I thought it looked cool. It looks interesting, but
Yeah.
now that I have more experience and I'm older, I think it's not very practical. It doesn't work for modern fighting. Maybe
Yes.
at the
Exactly.
time that it was made, it worked, but not. This is what I think. Okay,
Mm.
for what it is now, it's not practical. But that's my like just abbreviated opinion. I will tell you more as we talk if you want to. But
Yeah. So for the beginning, I would like to say that I don't really like to when people call Wing Chun as a martial art. I I prefer saying like this is like a fight system, and Wing
mhm,
Chun was designed to be practical, but it's not practical anymore for our time, I think.
mhm.
And
I think what you mean is that in most martial arts, there's much wider margin to express yourself, and it's more
yeah, yeah, yeah,
flexible. But Wing Chun is maybe more structured in a way that it doesn't allow you to change anything. Or
yes, yes. They
is
have,
that what you mean? That's what
yeah,
it seems to me. Like
yeah,
everyone has to do it exactly the same way.
yeah, kind of like this.
Hmm.
And also, how we spoke before, start slowly thinking that the line that this is a martial arts or fighting style or something slowly become disappearing, and
Hmm.
Wing Chun become a religion. Like
Hmm.
people believe that this style is the best in the world, and every new Ip Man movie,
Hmm.
this style getting more and more followers, and
Hmm.
everyone, maybe not everyone, but big percent of these people are going to they think that they become a new Donnie Yen from from Ip Man, and they are in the end probably they are not even close to this level,
Hmm.
but they
Yeah,
just
actually,
believe that they're going to be like this.
it's the Yip Man movies are what's really promoting Wing Chun now. It wasn't so popular before. It's really popular now because of those movies.
Yes,
But
actually, uh,
The Donnie Yen, he's not just a Wing Chun guy. He's like a martial arts expert. He's really good in other styles. I don't remember what it is now, wushu and many other things. That's why he's so acrobatic and agile,
yeah,
and that's not pure Wing Chun that he's doing.
yeah,
And another
exactly.
thing that I was going to say that you said about the religion thing, it happens with all styles. Like many
Yeah,
people who are very narrow-minded, they always think, "Oh, my style is the best." It happens with all of them. But yeah, now that Wing Chun is becoming more popular, it's starting to happen.
yeah, but it's also bad about this that this people believing that they're going to be like Donnie Yen, that later they going to fight with MMA guys and they get beat up because actually they never fought before. They
Hmm.
do just chisao like a sparring,
Hmm.
and you know in the real fight it's not possible that you're going
Yeah.
to make the sticky hands like
Hmm.
how they train. I know because
Yeah.
I was the one who was this follower of the Ip Man movie. I saw this movie when 2011 first time I saw this movie, and first things what I start do I just search on YouTube. I found Master Wong, and I trained with him like this. Here, like he just starting his channel, and here like this Wing Chun for beginner lessons. I trained by myself, and later I found my trainer, and yeah, I was his kind of first student, and
Mhm.
so I will get some profits that I will have more lessons, and yeah, I was like really, I was like I know I was really hungry of the knowledge. I all the time writing to him how I should do this, and I learned a lot. But in the end, my teacher and me and yeah, we decided to stop be a part of the big organization of Wing Chun because we don't like this line
Okay.
how you train.
Okay.
Like
Hmm.
example, it's not allowed for you to learn how to use your elbows in first year of your training. This is just silly, you know. It's like you
Yeah.
train 3 years, and after 3 years, oh, after little bit lower, I have my elbow. I can use this in the fight. Like, wow, it's like
Hmm.
it's just stupid. It's why we
Yeah.
wait for this. I think when you are grown up, and maybe for kids it's fine, but when you are grown up or adult, you join to the club or some gym, and you want to learn how to fight, and you want to learn how to protect yourself now, no, not after 5 years,
Hmm.
because this is your point. You want to feel safe when you train martial arts, or just yeah, believe in yourself. But when you are adult, you want to learn this now, not after. Be ready to protect yourself after 5 years.
Yeah. Actually, all the martial arts I've trained in, all the teachers will teach you the technique, all techniques. As soon as you're able to do it, he'll teach it to you. Like you, if you go with my taekwondo teacher as a white belt, if you can do a spinning kick as a white belt, he'll train you to do it. Like the earlier you start, the better, because then you have
Yeah,
more training. And I
exactly.
also, when I was teaching taekwondo, I had white belts doing like spin kicks and really complicated things because they were getting good at it. So I just thought, I don't care. Like the belt is okay. You have kata or tul or whatever, like the forms. Yeah, okay, that it goes according to the belt. But all the skills and the weapons in your body, yeah, just teach it as you acquire.
Yeah,
It's not necessary to like block your learning because of some rule. That's
yeah.
silly.
It's like it's not allowed to do this move because you're on this level. It's just
Yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid.
yeah,
I think from what I've seen, that Wing Chun is designed to work in a line, not only attacking but also like it's made to defend only straight
yeah,
blows, or
yeah.
so. That's what it looks like to me. So I don't see it working against a boxer or something.
Yeah, and they are training actually mostly protect yourself from the center line, and in from center line you using only not only but mostly in Wing Chun, and we train like Wing Chun against Wing Chun. But how big possibility is that you're going to found somebody on the street
Hmm.
who train Wing Chun and start attacking you from
Yeah,
the center line? It's more
yeah,
probably that he's going to do some weird
yeah.
punches like more
Actually,
natural.
the stance in Wing Chun is more frontal, right?
Yeah,
Like you stand. Most skilled fighters do not stand totally frontal. They're more on the side,
yeah,
and some styles even like completely to the side. So my ideal from karate and kickboxing and even boxing, like I have 3/4. I'm never like this.
mm,
Actually, when I fight the guys, if I'm sparring a guy who's standing perfectly frontal, it's easier for me.
yeah,
Like it's a really big target. It's really easy to get their body. But when I'm fighting some guy who's more on the side, it's much harder for me. So
mm,
I don't know. When I see the Wing Chun guys go straight forward like this, like it's just I don't know. I don't think that's very smart or effective.
yeah. It's like
I know there's
also
A lot of Wing Chun people are going to be angry at me, but I'm just giving you what I think. Like is my honest opinion.
yeah. I also I train Wing Chun like
Hmm.
almost 4 years, and I also just find out that it doesn't work that well,
Hmm.
and I try to change it, and even because also I think that is too complicated. The people say that is the complete system, like the best one, but it's too complicated. I think they tried. This is too many. It's too many techniques, like blocking
Hmm.
techniques and stuff like this. And sometimes
It's
when I see these videos when they're fighting like against some another styles, and they get really easy beat up from them, and I feel like maybe because they think like they have like 100 different blocks, and when
hmm.
they see that when they see punch and like they think which block I should use, boom, it's too late now. I think
Actually, Is it supposed to be a complete system? Does it have? This is a good opportunity for me to learn about it. I'll ask you some questions. Does it have like low kick blocks and elbow blocks, like defense against low kicks and elbows? Does it have that?
Yeah, I think so.
And against uppercuts, for example, does it have
Yes,
movements for it?
yes, we have a like, but for
Because
upper caps, it's more
Mhm.
normally like when you have a guard, you just go down like you make kind of like a axe chop,
Mm,
something like this. So you hitting the, yeah, it's
mhm,
quite painful when you hit here or when you hit just
mhm.
this part. When somebody
Yeah,
go down, you just cut
yeah.
him down.
In Kyokushin, we block the uppercuts with the knife hand.
Yeah.
We block them like that. At least this is how I did it. What about the low kick blocks? It's not like a Muay Thai block, right? It's like with the stomp.
We try to make like a stop kick, like just
Hmm.
like a
Yeah,
stop
that's not actually
before.
that's not a good idea.
No,
You can break your foot.
yeah. But also I haven't trained that much about the legs. Actually, we have a
Mhm.
kicks, but I also
Yeah,
train also a little bit different version of
I think like the traditional Wing Chun or traditional Chinese arts, not what people see in movies, but the real thing. There's a rule that you're not supposed to kick above the waist, right? Because of the
yeah,
balance.
yeah.
That's what I read a long time ago when I was reading about Chinese styles. So it's wushu is more an acrobatic thing. It's not traditional.
Actually, in Wing Chun, also I train a little bit different, more modern version
Hmm.
because in the traditional one you stand like 70 to 30% of your legs, so you stay on your back leg. So the first leg can work, so you can stab somebody or kick somebody before. But in the end, when you're standing on the back leg, somebody push you, you just go. I was trained like a 50-50. We stand like 50-50 on your feet. It's also, yeah, was. And I also have tried to train with somebody who trained traditional style, and even maybe he have some things what was surprising me, but he was much slower with his movement with walking because he was like this, 70-30, and yeah, I was faster with movement around.
When I watch the videos of Wing Chun guys like fighting in MMA or something, on YouTube,
Yeah,
it almost looks like they're not really doing Wing Chun. It's very sloppy. Like
yeah,
they can't really use the techniques properly. And the few that I've seen that like are more aggressive, they're they just fight in one line,
yeah.
going like this back and forth. It doesn't work very well against a guy who's trained in something else like boxing or kickboxing.
Yeah, actually, they always try to protect the side. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
Wing Chun is designed to fight in the small rooms, small areas. But I can bet that if you looked Wing Chun guy who trained 5 years or more years against some MMA guy who trained 1 year in the elevator, I think my guy going to quit this really fast. Even the Wing Chun is designed fighting in the small areas, and yeah,
So you're saying the MMA guy has an advantage,
yeah,
like he.
yeah, yeah. It's like he would win.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter
Hmm.
because he's more like he have a bigger fan of the techniques what he can
Yeah,
use,
yeah.
and
Bigger arsenal,
yeah,
more weapons. Yeah.
and more experience with fighting
Hmm.
because actually a lot of traditional martial artists that they train just drills or some
Yeah. No, but
movements, but not fighting much.
yeah. Even the ones that do train a lot of sparring, many times they only train with people from their own style or
Yeah,
just their own school, so they all fight identical or very similar. So
yeah,
when you put someone else in front who does something different, it's like very difficult to adapt. That's one thing about MMA. Everyone is like very free,
yeah,
so they have an advantage in that sense. But yeah, I notice it especially with Wing Chun that they're all like robots doing exactly the same thing.
yeah,
So yeah, you put someone who doesn't do Wing Chun, then it is there's no reaction.
yeah,
But
exactly.
it happens like it's not just with me. Many people, Sergio, from Practical Combat,
Mm.
tells me this. He told me many times, which is happens to me also. When you fight someone from Muay Thai, for example, the Muay Thai guys only use a certain amount of techniques. They don't use very many techniques.
Hmm.
Someone from karate or kung fu or taekwondo fights against a Muay Thai guy, he starts throwing different kicks and different things. Many times the Muay Thai guy will get kicked in the face, or because he's not used to it. It's not
Yeah,
because he's not good. He's not used to it. So they don't know how to read the movements.
yeah, exactly.
And by the way, I do like Muay Thai. I'm just saying, when you're used to doing a certain recipe or like like specific method, you never try different things. Then when something different comes, you're gonna be confused, or it's gonna be hard to adapt to it. So I see that with Wing Chun. It's very square. It's always like very strict about what they're doing, and
Mm.
it needs more freedom of techniques, like you're saying.
Yeah, I'm also about that this too complicated style. I'm thinking like, yeah, this people who fight with another fighters like from MMA or something. And this Wing Chun guys, example, they fight with them, and they have probably plan for this fight and million techniques in his head, but he just get one hit in his nose, and this all techniques disappears. It's like a blank. It's like, and later it's just like hiding and trying to survive. Like,
Yes, I've seen that a lot. Yeah, not
yeah,
just
this
with
is
Wing Chun,
yeah,
just with
but
in general.
it's really often when you see these videos on YouTube that Wing Chun guys who are fighting, they got just
Yeah,
one punch in the nose and all these techniques on the years of training
yeah.
disappears. And it's like, yeah, because
It's
when they do just chisa or it's like
mhm.
training like drills, when the punch is like 10 centimeters or 15 centimeters from you and never touch you, so how they can
Yeah,
know how to fight or how to,
yeah. That's why I always say you need sparring, and sparring needs to have contact. I'm not saying like go crazy and go to knock the other guy, but you need to get
yeah,
contact, so you understand distance and how it feels to get hit and many things. Sparring without actual contact is useless.
yeah,
Also, point sparring is also useless. It's good as an exercise sometimes to get timing, but
mm,
if all you do is point sparring when you have a real fight, it's gonna be really bad for you, because you need to understand that a fight continues. It's a continuous thing.
yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, you told me that there's many different types of blocks and stuff. Honestly, when I see Wing Chun, I think, okay, this has like 3 or 4 movements. It all like very. I didn't know there's many, many, many things.
It's
So
it's too many too
yeah.
many techniques, and I on my YouTube channel I do this Wing Chun for beginners things,
Hmm.
and I decided to locked all my this lessons in 10 videos. This is on my plan.
Hmm.
Like that's maximum 4 blocks, because this is what you normally going to use. Why you need to know 40 blocks when you can use only 3 or
Yeah.
4? And actually, this is what you normally using.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Actually, fighting should be simple.
yeah,
You shouldn't be thinking too much. Like if you learn many things, it should be natural. You don't have to think. If I'm like thinking too much, the time I'm spending thinking, the other guy's punching me. So simpler the better.
my taekwondo teacher, he told me about what we have to know about techniques with your arms. You need just 2 techniques, 1 and 2. You don't need more. Like he's like, or later, if you wanna be more advanced, you can do 1, 2,
Yeah.
and just
But
mix with this.
that's why also we train combinations. The idea of the combination of doing it again and again is that if you fight, you do it without thinking.
Yeah,
This is the same like when you do kata or whatever. The idea is that you teach your subconscious, your body and your mind to just do an action automatically. If
yeah.
you have to think, then forget it. It's not going to be good to have to process too much information when
Mm.
you're fighting. You only have like a split of a second to do anything. Yeah, but now I'm learning something. I thought Wing Chun was just 2 movements or something. I don't know, because when
So,
I look at it, it's just a guy going forward and doing this, or
yeah,
Chisao. But Chisao just I don't know, it looks very, I don't know, it doesn't seem like there's much to it. Um,
it's too much
do, do
techniques.
the does Wing Chun focus on attacking the body or the head, or because sometimes it just looks like they're going always to the body.
I think they
Also,
go into the body only because most of the clubs or schools, they have a like
Hmm.
a kind of like a small like chest protection, and they
Hmm.
have just this body memory that they go into east attack only the solar plexus because they have these things, I think, because normally you should attack your like this
Yeah,
center line is your target, like face, nose, this thing, throat, solar place, and go just to the balls. This
I,
is should be
I, I have
your
Mhm. I have two things that I think about this when I see this. Attacking this upper area of the body is kind of pointless. Even the solar plexus, it's pointless.
yeah.
If you go to the body, go to the the floating ribs,
Mm,
the liver on or the spleen.
yeah,
But just the center line itself, actually, I think it's kind of pointless. Even the abs, if the guy's training, you can punch me really hard on the abs, it's not gonna hurt.
yeah,
Like I'm used to getting hit, even though I'm a small guy. But you need to get there areas where there is no muscle protecting, like on the sides of the ribs, and that's not the center line. You need to move to in diagonals. The only point here in the center line is right at the beneath the solar plexus.
mm,
We call it mouth of the stomach in Spanish. I don't know if there's a name in English, but right where the ribs end, you can knock the guy's wind out to there. But that's the only point in this line. And
mm,
then, of course, the throat and that, but it's not easy. Also, there's another thing. It's not very effective for attacking to go like train like that.
yeah.
But then for defending, the average person is going to try to punch you in the face, and they're going to try to swing like that also.
Yeah.
Unless you are fighting someone trained, he'll be more uh, neat, he'll
Close.
be more
Yeah,
organized. But usually it's like guys throwing punches like that, haymakers
yeah.
or hooks. So and people go to the face mostly. So I think yeah, it's very impractical or unrealistic.
Maybe it's just maybe this system was good, but in the time they start training
Yeah,
this wrong.
yeah. I tried to imagine how were they actually fighting back then. Maybe
Yeah.
they didn't make any like wide movements like in boxing
But
or
when you see all these kung fu styles, they normally do some wide movements. So this
yeah.
is
So it's
maybe
strength.
this
I don't
was
know.
maybe this was the strength in Wing Chun that you instead going like this, you just go directly
Ah,
to
okay,
the
okay,
point.
yeah, you're
Maybe
right.
this was the like you become like
Yeah.
a tank, just go forward and don't care what's happening around. Maybe I don't know.
Hmm. Also, it's supposed to have been created by a woman, supposedly.
Yeah.
So it's not to fo- it's not supposed to be focused on force or strength. It's more like technique. But it just I don't know. I just can't imagine how it would work. Maybe against okay, let's say a Wing Chun guy in the street fights some like normal guy who never learned anything.
Yeah.
I guess probably he would win. But with someone who knows some boxing or something, I don't think so. It's
Actually,
it's
I also don't really like the how practitioners of Wing Chun looks. They are
mhm.
super skinny or super fat. It's really not so much athletics ones, like good looking, like healthy and like strong Wing Chun guys. Normally they are really skinny or fat around the ones.
So
I don't
normally maybe the training doesn't involve like body conditioning or strengthening. No.
actually when I train on the beginning in my club, we most of the time we just standing and do techniques in the air. So we just
Okay.
stand, so
Yeah.
not so much. And
Yeah.
actually we do a lot of trainings for forearms, like example hold something heavy, just twist or do something. That's me. We train mostly that we are close here and we are strong. When yeah, it was difficult to open us, but we were strong here. This
Mhm.
was mostly, I think, the biggest point of the training on the beginning. But later, when we go out from these traditional organizations and we
Mhm.
try and do our modern style Wing Chun, was better because we was more open, and also we try to connect Wing Chun techniques in the on fighting on the ground and stuff like this. So
Mhm.
was more interesting than traditional one. Probably also now Wing Chun guys will hate this. Or else, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, just from my observations, it doesn't seem practical at all. And well, yeah, Donnie Yen is popularizing it again, but it's the same with Aikido and Steven Seagal. When I first saw Steven Seagal movies, I thought Aikido was amazing, but it's not really like that.
Actually, this could be another topic now, like movies with martial arts, like how they can
Yeah, they can make you
fish,
think.
fishing like people
Yeah,
like we are super
yeah,
nice and come and train this style because this is
yeah.
super
We can talk
cool.
about that too. But
Uh,
oh yeah, before this, I just want to continue with something.
mm,
You know, like okay, it seems to me that okay, maybe sometime at some point in history, Wing Chun worked. I don't know, but maybe it worked for whatever reason. But it never evolved. It never changed. But
yeah,
if you see karate or taekwondo or any of these like Japanese, where you have all these are not actually blocks. They teach it as blocks, but they're not really blocks. They're other things. They're like they're locks and throws. All of these movements are not really blocks because it doesn't make any sense if you think about it. A punch is much faster than all of this movement, and
yeah,
they're actually other things. But uh, you never see anyone trying to actually block something like this and like that.
yeah.
You never see anyone trying to do that. It's blocks is like with your forearm. Sorry, you can see much more practical blocks from even traditional karateka or taekwondo, but it and there's certain modifications. Things change with time and in practice. But Wing Chun, it seems like nothing changes, and they try to do exactly the same
And
exact.
everything should go forward. Everything should evolve. We cannot stay in the one spot. It's the same, yeah,
Yeah,
with everything.
but the all like the best martial arts or sports combat, the combat sports, they're constantly evolving and changing, even if it's just little things. Boxing is not the same now that it was
Yeah, you
in
can
the
see the
40s.
difference. Is
It
totally
changed a
different.
lot. Not just the physical training, but the techniques, the footwork, everything. Same with Taekwondo. If you see Taekwondo, the very original, the
Mm,
first videos in the 50s, and what it is now, it's the technique is way more crisp and developed than in what it was before.
mm.
And karate too, like it's much more elegant now. There's a very big development in everything, and there's different things that you do now that you didn't do back then. But it doesn't seem the case with Wing Chun, and I
Actually,
guess
yeah,
Chinese styles in general seem to have this problem. Sorry, sorry.
no, it's okay. Because I remember once you said that Karate Goju-Ryu is your like one or favorite lines,
Mm.
and Goju-Ryu actually
Of
have a
the Okinawan,
yeah, yeah,
of the
it have a
Okinawan karate is my favorite line because it's
ah
the hardest one.
yeah, but
But if
but
we speak of
Goju Okinawan have
specifically,
a uh,
no, no, if specifically I like karate and kudo. Those are my favorites.
mm,
But from the Okinawan ones, Goju Ryu, because it seems to be the strongest one.
yeah, but this style have a influence of the uh, Chinese kung fu, and actually I train Goju, and sometimes for me it looks like a Wing Chun, but just harder version.
Hmm.
And I have actually a lot of problems with transfer my techniques from Wing Chun to karate because uh, example uh, in karate we go up, no, it's down. We go down always when you do
Hmm.
something, and in Wing Chun you always go up. Everything, whatever you do, you go above your arms.
Yeah,
And
it actually
when
it
I
depends
think
on.
in karate,
Mhm.
when you have to go example here and go down, when I go down, the Wing Chun guys would just press my arms down and lock
Mhm.
me. And I always think like, why I have to go down? It's like I'm just putting myself to the trap. It's like what I thought it was, but it was difficult for me to transfer this Wing Chun thinking to karate and connect these two things. But it was
Well,
really
it's two
difficult.
things. It's like the whether the arm goes up or down depends on the type of movement. For example, if it's a low block, it'll come from above. It depends on which side of your forearm you're going to use.
Mhm.
It goes from underneath when it's going to be the inside of your forearm. It goes from top when it's going to be the outside of your forearm because you want to create rotation. Anyway, that's a detail. But
Yeah,
again, like I said, these movements are not really blocks. They're something else.
yeah,
For example, when you see this, have you ever seen this movement or like this?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's not a block, or they will tell you it's a block. It's actually like an arm bar or leverage. You grab the under the elbow and the arm like this. That's one application.
Mm.
It's a type of arm bar. Anyway, these are like they're all hidden locks and throws and other things.
Yeah, in the third kata in Goju, you do this kind of move, so looks like this,
Yes.
and this is like you grab the uh, leg, the second one, and just make a throw.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
go
There's
under the leg, and you go another and just leave some guy and throw on the ground. So
yeah, yeah, there's many applications. They're not really blocks, so you're never gonna be able to block something like that.
yeah,
It's just ridiculous. A punch is 10 times faster than the whole movement you're
yeah,
doing. But yeah,
exactly.
there is no crossing of the hands in Wing Chun, right? You don't cross the hands for anything.
No. They also like do like something like go here and here, so it's like grabbing and you twisting or something. There's also some
Mhm.
always like I think in all traditional martial arts when you do something like this means something.
Mhm. Did you
Yeah.
get anything of that you think is very useful or valuable from Wing Chun? Something that you think, wow, I'm happy I learned this, or in general you think it's not very not very useful?
Mm, I I use a lot of techniques. What I you can actually see a lot of times in my sparrings
Yeah.
that somebody tried to block my arm. I just go like really fast, go because I learn the feel the pressing on my hands,
Hmm.
so I know how to avoid this. Example with somebody when I punch it and he blocked me and he just put me down. I just go sleep and already hit his nose. Just small punch, but sometimes the small punch is like giving you extra seconds for
Yeah.
another movement, like a distraction. And I learn like I using a lot of actually techniques from Wing Chun. Maybe
Yeah. Now
not
that you're
not going
saying,
forward, but just
hmm
uh, few blocks. This what
hmm
three or four blocks what I learning from Wing Chun I using a lot. But
yeah, I remember now that you mention it, some sparring videos with Michael that he tries to like go into your arms and he can't because you're doing that. Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
It, yeah.
yeah, because we train a lot of these sticky hands.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like it's nice also actually. I think soon I'm going to post some video with my Polish friends. We make some small sparring without any gloves, without any
You said the boyfriend.
no Polish friends. Yeah. Yes, not boyfriend. I hope my girlfriend would not be angry. But actually, she is sometimes jealous about him because I like to spend too much time with him and train and do stupid stuff like climbing, and sometimes she feel like she have to compete with him. Yeah, but doesn't matter. Uh, yeah, we should make some small sparring without gloves, and we do like just punching like kind of a Kokushin style that we
Yeah.
can kick and punch just body. And he also could not.
In Kyokushin, by the way, you can punch the arms, you can punch the legs too. And you can also elbow the body. It's just most people are not aware of it, but you can actually use the elbow against the body in Kyokushin.
Mm, I just
But
thought
it's
that
just
they
most
can
people
use
don't do
knees
it.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
you can use everything beneath the neck. You can do everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's just protecting the head for obvious reasons. But it's still getting kicked in the head or getting a knee on the. You can knee the head. You getting a knee on the head is not nice. It's just the punches that are okay. Look, punches and elbows to the head, no. But you under the neck, you can do anything.
Oh, yeah.
Your
Sounds
your
interesting.
Polish friend, what? Um, I don't. There's a bunch of lines of Kyokushin these days.
Hmm.
I don't know if in every line you can do the elbow, but you can in at least the ones I know you can. Anyway, what is your does your Polish friend practice martial arts?
Yeah,
What style?
he was in Kata Shotokan. He was. He don't like to say that he is. He was a
Mhm.
black belt in Kata Shotokan.
There is no was
Yeah, yeah, I
like.
know, but he just don't feel like he
Mhm.
deserved to wear it. And he normally, when he go for training, he using white belts. He just have a black belts, but he never using because he still that he always think that he's still student and he should not wearing master level on his yeah clothes. And yeah, but we did some sparring. That's kind of Kyokushin style, but soft one, and and he was really angry on me that he cannot pass my hands here to my body because I do this Wing Chun stuff, and he was really angry for my sticky hands.
Have you tried with someone from Kyokushin doing that?
No, 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 I didn't try it. But actually, I was once in Kyokushin competition. I lose,
Oh, wow.
I lose, but I was close to win. But I was out of gas, you know. Like I could not breathe on the end of
Yeah,
this
yeah.
fight.
The energy is, yeah. It's not just punching. When you're taking so many hits, your body also uses energy to
Yes, yeah,
resist. So yeah, it's very tiring.
yeah. But it
What do you
was
have more? What kind of like when you have to fight someone, who gives you the most trouble? Who's most difficult for you? Like I'll give you an example. If I the type of guys that give me the most trouble are the taekwondo guys who are on the side,
hmm
just because it's very hard for like the target is not as
yeah, really
comfortable.
thin.
But when I fight someone who's from karate or kickboxing or something or Muay Thai, their stance is more frontal, so I find it much easier to go for the body or do whatever I want to do.
Mm.
I don't know what if there's like some kind of guy that makes you feel more uncomfortable. I also feel uncomfortable when guys who have, not because of the reach so much, but guys who have very long arms and they're not very technical.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
there's I have a guy like I train with a guy like this. His technique is not very good, and then it makes my technique bad because I can't understand what he's doing, and it's very hard to go in there.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah.
know if there's a type
For
that
me,
makes you more.
also is also the tall guys, because I always also was the smallest one in the club,
Mhm.
so everyone is bigger and taller than me
If
normally.
if if the guy who's very tall has a very good technique, actually it's not so hard for me because I can understand what he's going to do. But when the technique is not good, I can't read his movements. I don't know what he's going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
When the guy is very technical, I can understand what he's trying to do. It's like trying to speak someone in another language and he's not good at it.
yeah,
It's very hard to understand what he's saying.
yeah, exactly. But mm, I don't know if there's some more types of this. Oh shit, I think only tall guys. I think no, probably it's more than this. But when I think
Yeah,
about this
generally,
now,
generally.
the tall guys normally give me troubles, and
Mhm.
left-handed guys.
Ah, left-handed. Yeah.
Yeah, because normally I am the one who fights with the right hand in the front,
Mhm.
and when we see somebody who's standing like me, and like, okay, something is weird because normally most people are right-handed,
Yeah.
and it's, yeah, and it's
If it's
just for me it's not comfortable to see somebody different than normally I see. Yeah.
if it's only boxing, I actually like fighting tall guys more
Mm.
because they can't go under my punches. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard. They cannot dodge my punches because I'm smaller, so they can't go underneath. It's
Yeah.
easy. I like it more. But if it's only boxing, I don't like fighting left-handed guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like fighting left-handed guys if it's kickboxing
Yeah,
because
because you can kick the.
I can kick them on the liver.
Actually, about the tall guys and this with not a good technique. I was one times in the competition in karate and was some kind of like a light contact karate, something like this. And I fought one guy who was maybe 1.5 head taller than me, and I have to come close to him to touch him and get some score some points.
Mhm.
And if I come close, he just do like this, like a really small punches. He don't have to even like go like this. And the judges stop us and say to me, "You have to protect your face." I don't care that I'm going to get 1 or 2 hits in my face. I wanna score 1 point to hit him. I have to come close to him, and I could not because he had a really long arm, and I touch one, I come close to him, and later he just do like this with second arm and punching me. I don't get this kind of punches, nothing. But I could score some points for this. But this I lose this fight because this just all the time spit us out and say, you have to protect yourself. And yeah, I have to come too close to him. I cannot go like this and do like this because this is also not a technique.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
have to be, yeah, you have to fight with some
Yeah.
kind of style, you know.
When you're shorter, you need to be able to like get stuck on the guy, but it
Yeah,
becomes not clean. It's sloppy.
yeah,
That's what. Well, with kickboxing, you can do it because you can just throw hands like that,
yeah,
overhand punches and hooks. But if you're doing just traditional like Shotokan, it's very difficult because you have to fight in a line. So it becomes more complicated. Then the guy with reach has a huge advantage.
Yeah.
But if it's something else like boxing or kickboxing, yeah, you can actually get stuck on him, and if it's dirty, it's okay. It doesn't matter. But yeah, but you were talking about like Shotokan karate, where every time you score, they stop, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or is okay? Yeah, that's a problem.
No, but I didn't fought in this Shotokan. This was
It's
Goju
continuous.
competition. Yeah,
Okay, it was continuous then.
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
continue. Yeah,
So
then you can do it because you take some and then you go inside and then you can give some. But if it stops when they touch you, then that's one reason I don't like this point
yeah, yeah.
sparring. It's not realistic. It just if someone is very long, they just put their hand out and that's it, or leg.
Actually, I did some sparring with this uh, Shotokan guy, and it was also kind of annoying for me because we did like kind of boxing rules, and
Hmm.
he because they like to make punch and come back, like in
Hmm.
Shotokan, because they go forward and come back. You make like one strong punch and return to your position. And he, example, do one punch and he didn't touch me, and
Hmm.
he from this position just start pumping his arm like boom 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 just to get a connection with my face.
Hmm.
And with boxing, I try to do some fun, nice movements, and I go like this, and just getting like small punches, like just like he just pumping his arm like go like forward. It's kind of annoying because you know from
Hook.
because his memory was like just touch and go back,
Mhm.
and he could not touch it, so he tried to touch it, tried to reach me, and it
Next
was
time,
like
get his arm down with one hand and then punch with the other one. Do that
yeah,
next time.
yeah, I did this a few times, but this like was just annoying because he did it quite often because he have it in his body that he have to connect it. Yeah, but there's also this kind of sport side of the karate that
Mhm.
yeah what they do. But was just kind of weird for me. Yeah,
Well, I don't know what else to say about Wing Chun. Like we were original conversation. I just think it's not very good. I wouldn't waste my time with it. But I know many people like it. But for me, it's kind of a waste of time training Wing Chun. Sorry if I offend anyone.
I think it's good. It's good to try it and see if it's if it's working for you or not. And actually, it's maybe good for understanding the mechanics of movements, maybe, and try to find some different ways of something. I don't know. I think every style have a something what you can take it.
Yeah, that's what I usually say. That's why I asked you about what you found of useful in it. Like a lot of people hate Aikido, but I think Aikido has a lot of valuable things in it.
Mm.
It's just the training system is not good, but it has a lot of useful things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I rather train Hapkido, for example, that which has same things and it's more aggressive and practical. So, uh,
Yeah. I think it's even if people saying it's capoeira is not effective martial arts,
no,
but I think
capoeira,
it's a lot of
yeah,
good
capoeira
stuff
is
what
good.
can really surprise people and that people see this as a dance. But yeah,
Getting kicked in the face by a good capoeirista will like really like it'll knock you out. Also, capoeira, if you practice with a good teacher, it has grappling, it has lots of stuff. My capoeira teacher taught us jiu-jitsu, like some floor
yeah.
choke holds and other stuff. Capoeira has a lot of things. It's
Now people
just
people seeing capoeira as the acrobatic and
yeah,
spinning kicks, but capoeira have like head bombs, have
yeah,
elbows,
elbows and
have open hands, claps,
yeah,
and normal punching and knees and all kind of kicks what you can find in different martial arts. But
yeah. It has
yeah,
a lot of dirty like street fighting techniques also. Like I don't know how to explain, but yeah, it has a lot of dirty things also, which are very effective for. It doesn't mean that you're gonna fight in the street doing Jenga.
no, Jinka is just a
Yeah, it's just
movement.
for the training. I mean, you could, but no one's gonna do that. I think people just imagine that a capoeira guy is gonna start dancing or something. They're
Yeah.
not, but they're gonna kick you in the face though.
I always say like when somebody said like why you make this Jenga, it's like yeah, you will not make a Jenga in the real fight. And if you going to do make Jenga, you could, for example, make half jinga, like just make to the side and make bigger hook because you
Yeah.
have this kind of move.
Yeah.
And
Um,
this is what you're using for.
Yeah, but also just honest, like being objective. It's really, if someone is doing Jenga to you and he's never gets tired, like he's in really good shape, it's really hard to punch him in the face or the body, or it's very difficult punching a guy or hitting a guy who's doing Jenga actually,
Yeah.
because they're small and they're close to the ground and they can hit you everywhere. But it's not easy fighting someone. It's uncomfortable. It's much easier fighting someone who's standing up in front of you than someone's moving around ducking. So people underestimate what capoeira can do.
Actually, once I tried to use capoeira without kicks, just with hands, like in boxing,
Mm.
against a guy who trained boxing at this time, and he was really confused what to do
Yeah.
against this. It was for me, it was a fun experience, but actually, accidentally, I hit his throat in the fight because he wasn't expecting me that I'm going to jump from this movement to him, and he could not read these things, and I accidentally hit his throat, and the fight was kind of like over. But it was a fun sparring. But
Mm-hmm.
later, I was really sorry about this, and I said, okay, never, not again. Just
Well, he probably thinks capoeira is pretty good then.
yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how we can
Yeah, just
make like a last word about Wing Chun, because this was a big part of my martial arts life, and I really enjoyed this time. But right now I moved to boxing, and sometimes I try to use the Wing Chun techniques on this. Some of them works for some beginners or some medium advanced guys, but against the higher level, I cannot do anything with Wing Chun. So, one good things about what I learned from this technique is what I can use. I have a kind of memory in my body that even if I get punched and I go step few backs, I just go like a yo-yo forward.
Yeah.
And this is the things what I get from Wing Chun, that I am, even in the boxing club, they once one guy said that I'm fucking yo-yo. Just he hit my times and I just go back, and before he was happy that he hit me hard, and before his arm go back, I was next to him already, because this was kind of
That
my
is
movement.
that is a good thing to do, to have in your head. It's getting on the inside is very hard. It's counterintuitive. You naturally don't want to go inside, but
Yeah.
if you're able to do it, then that's great.
Yeah, because in Wing Chun have a kind of rule, like you should never go back. You should stay in one position or go forward.
Yeah.
This was kind of rule.
Generally, yeah, just go forward or to the sides. You want to avoid. Of course, it's useful to go back sometimes, but in general, going back is not as good as going to the sides or cutting him off frontal,
Yeah.
like going inside.
Normally you go back. For example, in Wing Chun, you is allowed to do, example, 2 steps back just to stop your opponent, because when he starts make his combo, normally when you still going backwards, you give him more opportunity for him to continue this combo. But if you just stop him 1, 2 and you go and break his timing, this also the kind of things that you have to break the timing of your opponent. But
Yeah, it has a lot of theoretical things that
yeah, but
makes
it's difficult
they're right.
to do this
Yeah.
in the real situation.
It's too complicated the way they want to apply it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, I agree, break the timing and everything, but just, I don't know, block, punch. It doesn't need to be complicated,
Yeah, yeah.
which you would learn in boxing or kickboxing. Like, anyway, it's good that you teach me something about Wing Chun, because I only know what I see on,
Yeah.
on the video.
I think it's most what people see about Wing Chun, and most of them who train Wing Chun, this is the Ip Man movie believers.
I only saw the first Ip Man movie, which I liked. It was entertaining. But when he's fighting like 50 karate guys and he beats everyone up, that's bullshit. That's impossible. That doesn't happen. And then I saw like clips of the other movies where he fights Mike Tyson and a bunch of, that's also bullshit. That fight would last 1 second. One punch from Mike Tyson and finished.
Actually, I like only these two Ip Man movies with Damian. This first one, second one. The first one with Mike Tyson was I just watched just because,
Mhm.
not because I wanted, because after this trailer, when I saw Mike Tyson, I was like, okay, it's going to be weird. And now it's Ip Man 4, it's like, okay, it's going to be even more weird. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there's
too
it's
much
just too much.
Hollywood
Yeah.
stuff now.
On Ip Man 5, he fights the Predator, like against aliens and the
Slowly,
Terminator. He'll
slowly
fight
this
Arnold
become like
Schwarzenegger.
a Brazilian TV series, like going to be episode number 1,078.
But they have no more opponents, so they need to bring in like crossover with Toy Story, fighting with
Yeah.
like toys and all sorts of weird shit, like the Ninja Turtles. They will not know what to do anymore.
Yeah, but they have to keep going to collect more believers in this religion.
Yeah, but
Yeah, this is
it,
the
it
way.
will get it will get impulse, and then at some point it will stop again, like it happened with Aikido and other things.